Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. It's a brand new day, and we have some breaking news for you. If you're someone who depends on SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, or even if you're just curious about the future of economic assistance, you won't want to miss today's video. We're diving deep into the latest developments surrounding potential monthly payments for benefit recipients, including a bold proposal for $2,200 monthly payments. This is news that could impact millions of Americans and transform the way benefits are distributed in the future. Alright, now let's get into it. Today's topic is huge, and it's been making waves across the country. The former President Donald Trump has made some major statements regarding a proposal that could provide $2,200 monthly checks to those on SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits. Yes, you heard that right, $2,200 per month. In this video, we'll break down exactly what this proposal means, why it's making headlines, and most importantly, what this could mean for you if you rely on these federal programs. Is this a realistic plan? How would it work? And what are the potential challenges or roadblocks standing in the way? Stick around because we're covering it all today. Let's start by setting the stage. In recent months, we've all witnessed the economic strain affecting Americans from all walks of life. The rising cost of living, inflation, and other economic pressures have made it more difficult for many to keep up with their monthly expenses. And for those who rely on fixed income programs like Social Security, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Veterans Affairs, VA, benefits, things have been particularly tough. In fact, many of these individuals are already struggling to make ends meet with the benefits they currently receive, which often fall well below the poverty line. The situation is dire for a lot of people, and the cost of everyday essentials, food, housing, healthcare has skyrocketed in recent years. So, when former President Trump recently made headlines by advocating for increased monthly payments, it didn't go unnoticed. The idea of receiving an additional $2,200 per month could dramatically shift the financial landscape for millions of people who depend on these benefits. For many, it could mean a life-changing amount of money that could help cover basic living costs, provide healthcare, and allow them to live with more dignity and less financial stress. But why now? Why this sudden push to increase these payments? Well, there's no denying that the pressures of inflation have been a huge motivator. SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits just aren't keeping pace with the rising costs of everything. From groceries to healthcare to housing, the purchasing power of fixed income recipients has significantly diminished, leaving many Americans in a precarious financial situation. The proposal to increase monthly benefits to $2,000 is not just a band-aid solution, it's an attempt to address long-standing issues with our benefit system. Let's break this down further to see why it's needed. So, what exactly is being proposed? The $2,000 monthly check is essentially a substantial increase over the current benefits many SSI, SSDI, and VA recipients receive today. Let's start with SSI Supplemental Security Income. The average SSI recipient currently receives less than $1,000 per month. That's just not enough to cover basic living expenses in most parts of the country. Many SSI recipients live at or below the poverty line, and the current benefit levels leave them struggling to afford even necessities like food, rent, utilities, and transportation. The proposed $2,200 increase would represent a dramatic shift in their financial well-being, allowing them to pay bills on time, seek better healthcare, and even save for the future. Now, for those receiving SSDI Social Security Disability Insurance, the situation is a bit different. SSDI benefits are based on the person's previous work history and earnings, so they can vary significantly from one individual to another. However, many SSDI recipients still face difficulty covering basic expenses, especially when you factor in rising inflation and health-related costs. The proposed $2,200 could create a more standardized level of support, helping to ensure that individuals with disabilities receive consistent, sufficient financial aid. And then we have the VA benefits, Veterans Affairs. Veterans who served our country deserve a financial safety net when they return to civilian life, but for many, VA benefits aren't enough to cover the cost of living. Some veterans experience service-related injuries or disabilities that require ongoing medical care, and the added financial strain can be overwhelming. By increasing VA benefits to $2,000 per month, the proposal aims to show our gratitude to those who served and provide them with the comprehensive support they deserve. So, what would an increase of $2,000 per month do for the economy? Well, it's not just about helping individuals, it's about creating a ripple effect that can positively impact the entire economy. First off, let's talk about consumer spending. When benefit recipients get more money, they typically spend it on essential goods and services. This means more money flowing into local businesses, from grocery stores to healthcare providers to home goods stores. In communities with large numbers of benefit recipients, the economic impact could be huge. We could see local economies experience a much-needed boost, which could help create jobs and improve the overall economic health of struggling areas. Furthermore, by providing individuals with more financial stability, we'd reduce the likelihood of people falling into deeper poverty. The $2,200 per month could help break the cycle of financial insecurity and allow recipients to plan ahead, pay down debt, and even save for emergencies. Now, while the proposal sounds great on paper, there are several roadblocks that could slow down or even prevent this plan from being fully implemented. Let's take a moment to talk about the political hurdles involved. First and foremost, any significant change to federal benefit programs requires approval from Congress. That means lawmakers need to come together to agree on the funding and logistics of making these $2,200 monthly checks a reality. It's not just a matter of writing a bill, there are complex financial implications that must be addressed. The total cost of providing these payments to millions of Americans would represent a massive increase in federal spending. Proponents argue that this is a necessary investment in the well-being of our citizens, while others are concerned about the long-term fiscal impact. Can the government sustain such an increase in spending without impacting other essential programs? Will this lead to increased taxes? These are the questions that need to be answered before any legislation can move forward. Additionally, the logistics of rolling out such a program would be complicated. The U.S. government would need to work with agencies like the Social Security Administration, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and the Treasury Department to ensure smooth processing and delivery of payments. If not handled properly, this could lead to delays or disruptions in payments, which would cause unnecessary stress for recipients who rely on these funds. As for when these payments could start, the proposed timeline is also a bit unclear. The announcement about automatic deposits starting as early as this Monday has raised a lot of questions. Will the checks really arrive that soon? Or is this more of a long-term plan that will take months, if not years, to fully implement? Historically, changes to federal benefit systems take time. While the proposed automatic deposit system sounds efficient, the reality is that it requires significant coordination between various agencies to ensure everything runs smoothly. This is no small task, especially when millions of people are relying on these payments to meet their basic needs. In conclusion, the potential $2,200 monthly checks for SSI, Ssdi, and VA benefit recipients could be a game changer for millions of Americans who need financial relief the most. But as we've seen, this proposal is far from a done deal. It will require careful planning, political negotiations, and careful consideration of long-term funding and sustainability.